Hi, I'm Candace.
And I'm Ripley.
And this is Comicsplaining.
The show where it's Pride Month again.
It is.
It's funny how this happens every year.
Yeah.
Love it. I've actually got my cubicle at work all decorated for Pride Month. I actually put a picture of it in our Discord. I gotta take another picture of it, though, with the lights on, because you can't even see the lights in the picture I took because they were off, because I didn't want to plug them in on May 31st. Mm-hmm. I thought that would be a little bit much. So I just kind of put them up, took my picture for just as much, like, this is how they looked if anybody starts some shit.
Right.
They'd be like, this is how it looked when I left, motherfucker. But yeah, so that's my Pride story. Nobody's given me shit. A couple people have liked my Pride Month decorations, in fact.
Yeah.
Sometimes anxiety is wrong.
Yeah, sometimes. Most of the time, I think.
Generally.
Yeah.
What's up with Loki's tiny feet?
He's female-coded. I couldn't even fucking say it. I'm
gonna let you dig out of that one.
I'm not digging anywhere. I'm exactly where I want to be.
Excellent.
Actually, I did want to say something since we're talking about Pride Month and Loki. So, you, as in you, and also the listeners, might notice that a lot of the time I will use they, them pronouns for Loki. I do that intentionally, just so you know, because Loki is canonically gender fluid. I mean, obviously they're not acknowledging it in the 60s, but Loki's been gender fluid since the Viking Age, so... And I just think that, I don't know, it's the least you can do to, like, acknowledge that. I mean, I kind of go back and forth, but a lot of the time I do use they, them pronouns. So I just wanted to let the listeners know that, yes, I am doing that on purpose.
I go back and forth on that, and it's funny because I actually do use they, them pronouns.
Yeah.
But I go back and forth on it. I usually just go with whatever they're going with on the page.
Yeah, which... I mean, the thing about that for me is that 90% of the time it's their dude.
Yeah.
Which, like, if they were actually being written by a gender fluid or trans person, then that might be different. But they're not. So.
Yeah.
It's just my personal preference to use they, them.
Yeah, no, I'd noticed long before this, but I just...
Yeah.
Roll.
Yeah. We're gonna read some Thor. But first, Ripley, I would like you to tell me what happened last time.
Oh, fuck.
Give me a look of terror on your face.
Give me a place to get started, and I can probably go from there.
Okay, so the Destroyer was there, right?
Yeah.
Thor was fighting the Destroyer.
Then the Destroyer just went inert because Karnilla let her out because Balder was like, you are letting Sif out of the fucking Destroyer, or I'm not fighting Ulik of Metal Pounders fame.
Yes, of course.
And then, but she was wounded. She was hurt, and...
Who was hurt?
Sif.
That came later.
Oh, that came later?
Yes.
Fuck, I don't even fucking remember.
First, Balder had to fight Ulik, right?
Yeah, Balder had to fight Ulik, and then Balder wasn't strong enough to defeat Ulik, so Thor was there. I don't remember how that happened, I just know it happened.
Karnilla sucked him away.
Oh, Karnilla gave him the suck!
Yes, she did.
Yeah, because Balder couldn't beat Ulik, which, bullshit, I think.
Bullshit.
Balder deserves to win. Fuck
well,
Ulik.
maybe Balder could have defeated Ulik if he had let Sif help him.
Yeah, he was being a fucking pig.
Yeah.
And Thor was also being condescending.
Yeah, a little bit.
Fucking annoying, but hey, whatever. It's the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Then something happened.
Ulik fell down a giant hole.
I do remember that, and then eventually he caught himself on the sides and went into a cave in the hole that had glowing rocks.
There you go. And then Loki did what?
Loki walked off in the middle of the fight. We didn't see Loki leave, but they did.
Okay.
Then Loki...
What did they have?
Good vibes?
That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, probably bad vibes, actually. Malicious intent.
They had the hammer.
Oh, right. They had the hammer. That's right. They had the hammer, and so they went down to Earth and hid it as like a fucking bindle that you carry on a fucking stick, and it was just like under their arm.
Yeah.
And so DB Cooper strikes again,
Mm-hmm.
and Thor, I don't know, something happened. Sif got hurt, I think, in fighting Loki.
Yes. Loki blasted her real good.
Yeah. Thor got the hammer back, though.
Yes.
I do remember that. And I don't know, I guess Thor was distracted by, oh god, Sif's in trouble, and Loki got away. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then Sif was in the hospital, and Don Blake was operating, and then some shit happened. Somebody showed up to start some shit.
Loki
Loki it was. Okay. Loki showed up to start some shit, and then all the doctors were like, it's cool. Dr. Blake's got this. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yes.
Don't worry about it. I know you're just like the substitute nurse, so we're filling you in now. He's fine.
Right.
And then I don't remember what happened.
Thor and Loki fought briefly, and then Odin broke them up. And Thor was like, oh, Odin must have some shit going on, and then flew away. And
Yeah.
that was it.
Sif's life was saved, though, already, right?
Yeah, he finished the surgery.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and then Odin was like, ignore any of everything that just happened. Something bigger is coming.
But didn't give them any further information than
Because it was the cliffhanger at the end of the issue.
that. Right. So that's more or less what happened.
That was a very bad retelling on my part because I don't remember shit.
So let's get on to the issues. First of all, we're going to read Thor number 154.
Noticing that the cover page is Cash Money Green.
It is. It came out May of 1968. It was written by Stan Lee.
I'm gonna guess. Penciled by Jack Kirby.
How'd you know?
Was it inked by Vince Coletta?
Yeah.
This one's The Gamble. I'm gonna say lettered by Artie Simek.
Nailed it.
Holy shit, am I good? I mean, that last one was like a 50-50 chance, so...
Yep, you got the hat trick. Good job. Things don't change here with Thor.
No, I couldn't do the same for you because things constantly change on the X-Men, especially now.
Yep. Alright, so let's get into it. Thor wonders aloud why Odin interrupted his fight with Loki. What could possibly cause the Allfather to be so alarmed?
Maybe he's just getting really annoyed hearing you two bicker.
Maybe.
I know this name, but I'm not going to mention it in case we're trying to hold it in suspense for our audio listeners, not our video watchers, because they clearly see.
Yes, they obviously know. Maybe Thor's hoping to get answers from Odin, but none is forthcoming, so he's just talking to himself.
That's stupid of him to expect that.
Yeah. With no response, Thor decides that these things are just not for him to know right now, and he takes off back to the hospital to see how Sif is recovering.
Do you think Odin would have yoinked you there if he didn't want you there?
Right.
Let's see, though. How's Sif doing?
Well, he climbs in the window to find her sound asleep, recuperating from the surgery she had like 10 minutes ago. He peruses her chart for a brief moment before the room is bathed in a green glow, signaling the arrival of Hela.
Oh, I'm loving this look.
Thor tells her that she can't have Sif because she's not dead. But Hela isn't here for her. She apparently thinks that since Thor died earlier in his fight with the Wrecker, she is owed his soul.
Why did she not bring this up earlier when she was still here?
Well, she did, but Thor was like, I've still got shit to do, and she was like, okay, I'll wait.
Okay.
Thor denies her claim, and she agrees, because she refused to claim him earlier, and now he's fully alive again, so she can't really do anything about it.
Fair.
To which Thor asks, well, what the fuck do you want then? Hela opens up a portal to Valhalla, trying to tempt Thor into, dying, I guess. The Inheriar, which is what the warriors of Valhalla are called, by the way.
Okay.
The Einherjar call to Thor, begging him to join them in glorious, everlasting battle. Friends and foes alike offer him a place of honor in the Golden Hall. In fact, this right here is Harrokin, who you might remember from
Yeah.
Tales of Asgard.
Because he sounds like Hadoken.
Yes, exactly. Thor rebukes them too, saying that he still has shit to do on the mortal plane. And with that, the visions and Hela herself disappear.
I'll be back to fight later, guys.
Yeah, exactly. He'll die eventually.
Right. Hela always wins in the end.
Ulik hauls himself into a cavern off the side of the bottomless pit that he fell down a couple issues ago. He's pretty pleased with himself for making it out of this alive, and is already prepared to return with a vengeance. However, the cave is covered in shining rocks, which stirs a recollection. Apparently these are enchanty stones, which are the seeds of Odin's power.
Okay, now, this is surely from the mythology, right? The hidden enchanta stones?
Oh, absolutely.
The seeds of Odin's supreme power?
Yeah, for sure. That's 100% mythologically accurate.
Now, are those the seeds where he got his power, or is that just the seeds of his power? Let's put it that way instead of being gross. That'd be fucked up if that came out as glowing stones. Oh, and you need to see the royal physician. Those are kidney stones.
Yeah.
Kidney stones fucking glow.
Well, he's a god, so maybe they do.
That's kind of where I went in my head. Anyway, no.
They're not that. No. Judging by the way they're being used, they're more just like stones that have been imbued with Odin's power. I have no idea what that has to do with seeds, but whatever. Ulik travels further into the cave until he finds a room sealed with a stone slab that reads, "Let no living being disturb what lies within by the order of Imperial Odin."
Liking the lettering here, Mr. Simek.
He says that this is the resting place of the last surviving member of an alien race that was once so powerful it nearly destroyed Asgard itself.
That's from the mythology, right?
Yeah, totally. Aliens. That's in the mythology. I mean, the MCU thinks it is. I would question how he knows this, but it seems more like a story he's heard before that's turning out to be more than just hearsay.
Yeah.
Ulik declares that any enemy of Asgard is an ally of his.
And don't agree.
One that he will set free, which he does immediately with no further consideration.
The enemy of my enemy is not always my friend.
The entombed being...
Oh, God.
The entombed being steps free into the dim glow of the cave, declaring, "Let the universe tremble! The Mangog lives again! I have one goal, one aim, one destiny, to destroy him who crushed the invasion of my race."
So, I gotta say, Vince's inking is not doing Jack's art any favors here.
No. His head isn't that big later on.
Good, because you get a little bit too excited nodding, you just wrap yourself in the fucking nuts. But then again, I guess he's an alien, maybe you don't got him.
Yeah, maybe. He's got his wrestler shorts on, though.
He does have his wrestler shorts on. His hand's kind of fucked up. His feet are kind of fucked up. He's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, well, he's supposed to be kind of fucked up. Ulik points him toward Asgard before asserting that, under his leadership, the two of them will destroy Asgard together, as a couple. Mangog says, "Asgard? Mangog will not stop with Asgard. Mangog is the foe of all who live!"
Ulik, the enemy of your enemy is not always your friend.
And then he punches Ulik in the face.
Then he steps on him, because he's mean.
And then he steps on him. Ulik asks him to see reason. It was Ulik who released him from imprisonment, after all. Mangog knows no gratitude or mercy, but all the same, decides not to kill him right now because he could be useful.
He could be a good lackey.
Yes. Thor reclines by his lady's bedside for a moment's rest. With the danger now past, he can become Dr. Dawn again and put all his energies toward her recovery. After he transforms, a nurse enters the room and is surprised to see him there, as she was apparently on duty outside Sif's room all night and didn't see anyone go in. Dawn says she must have been mistaken, to which she quickly agrees, further supporting my theory that his coworkers all know he's Thor and are just being cool about it. The nurse asks Dawn who this mystery woman is and where she comes from. He cryptically and unhelpfully replies that she comes from far away.
Very helpful.
As if reacting to the sound of his voice, Sif stirs for the first time, asking after her beloved. Dawn is elated by this news, and the nurse, perhaps sensing that something more is going on, excuses herself.
Yeah.
Alone once more, Sif embraces Dawn, realizing that he has saved her life after Loki's lethal Nornblast.
Right, that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Don looks like he should be starring in a movie about him being a hero pilot who saves everyone.
Yeah. He does have that look. He gently returns her to bed, prescribing a sound sleep as he sees to business elsewhere.
Think they're gonna fill that prescription down at the pharmacy?
Yeah. Sif warns him that Loki is still free as he turns back into Thor and flies out the window, so this was a very short visit.
Yeah.
Little does she know that Loki is the very thing that's on Thor's mind. And little does Thor know that Loki is lurking on the street below.
Yeah, Loki is also back on Earth.
Yes, Loki's been on Earth. He never left.
Oh, I thought Loki got yoinked with Thor.
No, neither of them got yoinked anywhere.
Why did I think they got yoinked?
I don't know. They were fighting, and they got blown apart from each other, like physically separated, but they didn't get moved anywhere.
Okay.
Loki's lurking on the street below, cloaked and an aura of spatial invisibility, which is obviously not the same as regular invisibility, so don't even bother to ask because you sound dumb.
What's the difference?
This one is spatial.
Okay. So it means you can walk through him too, right?
Maybe. Yet still Loki possesses power, and hatred that knows no bounds. Thus Loki shall hide no more! Loki
Sure, now that Thor's out of sight.
Yeah, exactly. Loki appears suddenly on the sidewalk, startling nearby pedestrians,
Boo!
who they then chase off by yelling like an angry grandpa. They decide that since they can't do anything because Odin said so, the obvious solution is to go depose Odin and take the throne for themselves. Duh.
This again, huh?
Yeah. Our favorite god of mischief shoots off back to Asgard to cook up some new plot, but is taken aback when they appear in the midst of chaos.
Ugh.
The finest of Odin's own personal guard are charging out to war, and this is what finally tips Loki off that something is up. Thor realized immediately that something was up, but I guess Loki is so used to being told no that they just assumed this was same old, same old. Yes, that's a bad face.
And then he's so handsome down in the bottom.
I know. Fucking Loki's a double-edged sword. Either they do him really good or they do him really bad.
Here on the same fucking
on the
page.
same page. Mm-hmm. In fact, things are so fucked right now that one of Odin's advisors approaches Loki and actually seems happy to see them.
Yeah.
Loki is apparently befuddled by this situation, as the two start walking and talking as if this is a political thriller on HBO.
I would watch that show.
I know. Imagine if the Loki show had been this. A political thriller.
I'd be into it. I don't think it really
Asgardian
vibes
political
as much,
thriller.
but, like, I'm into it.
The dude, whose name is Tog, or maybe Toag, explains the situation, that everyone is freaking out because the Cave of Ages has been opened. Loki asks why can't Odin just close it again? And Tog is about to exposit before a statue of an eagle gives an ear-splitting screech to signal that the inhabitant of the cave is now loose. Surely, Loki says, whatever the danger is, Odin will deal with it.
Okay, so it was the last resting place and that Magog was just fucking asleep?
Yeah.
Dumb.
He was resting.
Yeah.
His Mangog.
I don't care. Okay, Mangog.
Mangog. So Loki says whatever the danger is, Odin will deal with it. And Tog says, Togue says, "Not so much, my good bitch."
Oh my god, you fucking drama queen. Why are you always asleep whenever anything important happens, you useless old man?
It seems that in the midst of all this, and all that was happening just before this, Odin has decided that now is the time for nappies.
Yeah, I might have spoiled that just by a second.
A little bit.
Jump the gun there.
It's okay. He is deep in the Odin sleep, completely unable to do shit about fuck, which is why Thor and Loki are so sorely needed. But Loki is the only one who came, and they'd like to keep it that way.
This seems like the Thor movie may have taken a slight bit of inspiration from it, actually.
Slightly. With Odin locked in slumber and Thor on Earth and none the wiser, Loki is now exactly where they've always longed to be. They climb up to claim the throne as the de facto ruler of Asgard. They're feeling pretty pleased to have gotten here with literally no effort, but it does not escape them that there are certain caveats, as there is an unknown danger on the loose. If they should fail, both Loki themselves and the very realm will perish. Thor, meanwhile, is still flying around looking for Loki, when he hears a muffled cry from an alley below. He descends to find a man being mugged by 3 dudes with guns, which seems excessive. But no more excessive than these thugs find the idea of their crime being busted by the fucking God of Thunder.
Well, I mean, it's New York. This guy might turn out to be a fucking superhero and kick your ass, so it might be okay to have 3 guys with guns if you're going around mugging people.
I suppose, true. He falls from the sky, hammer first, blasting the muggers back. They struggle to regain themselves, and one who managed to hold onto his gun opens fire, only for Thor to deftly block the shot.
How often do you think that happens, though, in the Marvel Universe? You just go to kick someone's ass and accidentally you fuck around and find out?
I don't know. Probably not as often as you'd think, because
the odds aren't that high, because there's still,
way more normal
millions of people in New York, and let's be extravagant and say 1,000 superheroes.
Right.
There might be more, mutants or Inhumans among the population.
True.
But it's still not that likely.
Mm-hmm.
But wouldn't it be funny if?
It would be very funny. Another dude tackles Thor, trying to hold him still so his buddy can get a clean shot, which seems like a good way to get yourself shot more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
But Thor shrugs him off like a light jacket and throws him into his friend with the gun. A third guy is desperately trying to escape because this has gotten way out of control and he didn't sign up to fight fucking Thor.
You know, I don't think mugging people in a suit and dress shoes is the move. I mean, I guess if you're gonna disappear among the throngs of dudes in suits and dress shoes, it's probably a good move, but now you're the guy, the really sweaty guy in a suit.
Yeah, and dress shoes aren't good to run in.
No.
Thor throws Mjolnir at his legs and sends him toppling to the ground. At this point, some 4th guy, who we didn't see earlier, has a car and is trying to run Thor over, because I guess he's desperate. Presumably this guy is the getaway driver, which is why we didn't see him. I am questioning why we need 3 guys and a getaway driver for a routine mugging.
Maybe this guy, it's not a routine mugging and this guy had a mob hit on him. It would make sense with the guys in the suits and the hats, too!
Oh, true.
He had a mob hit, I'm calling it.
True, that's not it, though. Thor takes the car head-on without breaking a sweat. He pulls the driver out through the window of the crumpled vehicle, at which point this guy starts sniveling and pleading for his life.
Getaway driver should have got away.
Mm-hmm. A cop appears then and says that they've been looking for these idiots, and gee, it sure was swell of Thor to beat them into submission. Apparently, they call themselves Muggers Incorporated, which is just the most amazing name I've ever heard.
Crime Inc.
Well, with that diversion over, Thor resumes his search for Loki, this time deciding to walk down the street and ask some hippies hanging out on the corner. The hippies apparently don't recognize Thor at all, and aren't too impressed by him. So this interaction is definitely some weird anti-hippie shit. This is some kids these days.
You may remember from X-Men, Stan does this shit.
Exactly.
Yeah. Also, let's sit here and in universe rationalize it. Maybe these guys have been under the influence of some substances.
Yeah, maybe. Thor puts Mjolnir on the ground and dares the hippies to try to pick it up. They all grab it at once and try to pick it up.
Come on, man, let's... Hey, what gives?
But find it won't budge, as if it's welded to the sidewalk. Thor bends down to retrieve it, saying that the hippies are pure of heart, but misguided in their ignorance, and gives a dramatic speech while spinning his hammer. So, literally, it's just like, damn kids these days, etc.
Yeah. You got good intentions, but you just don't know what you're doing. This sounds fucking familiar, don't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in case you were wondering, yes, Baldur is still with Karnilla.
And yes, she has changed again.
Yes. Though, at this point, he's trying to tell her that he really should be going now, and she's not taking the hint. She's still trying to flirt with him, and he's still not hearing it. They're enemies, after all. It couldn't work out. Karnilla doesn't...
Now, fanfiction would disagree.
Fanfiction would disagree, heartily.
I heartily disagree, frankly, but Karnilla, you're being a creep.
She's being a little bit creepy here. Karnilla does not like this answer, and decides to reveal to Baldur some other dudes who didn't do what she wanted. She pulls out a small collection of warriors, each frozen in place by magic. Baldur identifies them as the Legion of the Lost.
Okay, so she just... Was it a whole legion of dudes? So she was like, you are all pretty fine. Who wants to join my harem? And they were like, nah, queen, this ain't it.
Well, they're actually serving her in some capacity, but she has them frozen with magic for some reason. But they are, like, doing her bidding, so I don't know. It's weird. I don't really completely understand the vibes that are going on. These guys apparently were missing, but now they aren't because they're right here.
Karnilla's got a vibe that says I should be the witch coming as a warning right before the Salem witch trials.
Right. Karnilla says, basically, date me or you will end up like these losers. Baldur doesn't much care for this threat, as he says, love is less than love if it be not freely given. Which is just, like, the most Baldur thing that he could possibly say.
Yeah, that was a really good thing. I don't know. I don't even know shit about Baldur, but I don't know. I'm starting to know some shit about Baldur.
He's a Disney prince.
He's a Disney prince and just like a solid guy.
Yeah.
Usually when he's not, when Stan's not putting sexist bullshit in his mouth.
Exactly. He draws his sword, prepared to defend himself, and Karnilla readies her own powers. Elsewhere, in Asgard, the Mangog lifts Ulik out of a hole in the ground, as if he were a harmless teddy bear, before climbing out himself. Ulik is starting to realize that he might have fucked up, because the Mangog is easily 100 times stronger than him, if not more.
I think he realized that a little bit before this.
Yeah.
When he was getting stepped on.
Mangog hoists himself up into the open air and declares that Odin had better be ready for him because he's coming and he's bringing the Ragnarok with him.
Oh lord, he's coming.
Still on Earth with no word from his father, Thor wonders what could possibly be happening. Where is Odin? What is the threat that looms on the horizon? And why hasn't he been summoned yet? No answers are forthcoming, unfortunately.
Dad's taking a nap.
That's it for that issue, so let's go to the next one.
Oh, that's okay. It's better looking than last time I saw a Mangog, last issue.
Yeah, yes.
I'll say that.
So, next we have Thor number 155 from June of 1968. Written by Stan Lee, penciled by Jack Kirby, inked by Vince Colletta, and lettered by Artie Simek.
His head is smaller than it was, so
slightly,
that's good.
Ever so slightly. Dark clouds gather in the skies above New York. While the citizens below prepare for a storm, Thor flies above, concerned that something greater and far more sinister is afoot.
Okay, but I don't think this foreshortening is 100% right.
No, it's not. It's not very good.
Okay.
I don't really feel like finding a way to say yet again that he knows something is up but isn't doing anything because he's waiting for Odin to tell him what's happening. We know, we get it. Let's move on.
His hammer sense is tingling.
Exactly.
Oh, that nose.
It's not good. Across town, in a private hospital room, Sif suddenly sits up with alarm. The nurse, attending to her, asks if she's feeling ill, to which she says, if only it were so simple. Thor appears then, in a pointlessly dramatic way that scares the shit out of the nurse, proclaiming that it's time to stop waiting around.
Okay, I thought this was like Loki in disguise.
No,
because
it's
of the
just...
weird blacked out face shit.
No.
I thought it was meant to be like symbolizing, nah, this ain't right.
Oh, no, that's just Thor being dramatic.
I sure hope Jack didn't pencil his face and just went, nah, this is more dramatic.
Right.
Just his face, though.
They've both noticed something is up, and he means to take action before it's too late. He then uses his hammer to speed up Sif's healing. I didn't know it could do that.
Why didn't he do that before? Also, I'm jotting that down on my list of Thor powers.
Yeah, why didn't he do that before? Great question. He chases off the nurse before creating a vortex that transports both he and Sif off to the Bifrost.
Trying to remember, does he have vortex powers?
Yes.
Okay. The Rainbow Bridge, not looking so
Not
rainbow.
so rainbow today.
This on Pride Month. We get the one time the Rainbow Bridge ain't fucking rainbow.
And this comic came out in June, even.
Oh, for fuck's sake. See, this is why Stonewall happened.
Exactly. Balder is still trying to firmly tell Karnilla that no, he's not interested, and he really must be going, because shit is happening, and he has a job to do.
Right.
She's still not hearing it.
Consent matters, queen.
Consent, please. She's still not hearing it, and insists that since he refused her hand, he now has to fight the Legion of the Lost. Balder is confused by this because they seem to be dead, or at least inanimate, until Karnilla awakens them from their stasis and they all lunge forward at once. Balder is undeterred, drawing his sword and meeting the warriors head-on.
Okay, so, like, are they still perceiving the world? Because how do they know what they're supposed to be doing?
I don't know. I don't have the deets on what's up with these guys. I don't really understand their deal and their relationship to Karnilla. I have no idea. It's confusing.
It's a non-consensual harem.
That's really bad.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
No.
Thousands of galaxies away, the Rigelians have sensed the imminent danger with their sensitive equipment.
Oh, I like that they're back.
The readings are so strong as to hint at the destruction of all life itself, and they quickly dispatch the recorder to the Black Galaxy to check on Ego. The living planet is the same as we left him, though, just chilling in space, and the recorder reports as much before speeding back home. Back in Asgard, the Warriors 3 are having a bar fight because they were bored.
Fandral! Fandrel's having a fun time.
He is. He's hanging from a rope from the ceiling.
Again, on some Errol Flynn shit.
Exactly. That's exactly his vibe. They're doing pretty well, until the voice of Loki stops everyone in their tracks, demanding a stop to this tomfoolery. The warriors attend to Loki's commands, though they make it clear that they're not happy about it.
Oh, I like this. Thou shriekest like a jackdaw, but ne'er wilt thou replace the slumbering eagle.
Loki says, if you all want to fight so much, why don't you go fight the fucking Mangog that's coming to kill us all? And the Warriors 3 are like, fine, but we're gonna complain the whole time.
Loki was much more dramatic about it.
Well, yes.
Him who is called Mangog is reborn. Mangog, sole survivor of a long-dead race. Mangog, him who even Odin fears. Mangog wilt thou fight!
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah. I just liked it too much to leave it there.
Nah, you're right. There's a lot of very good drama going on in the dialogue. I'm kind of condensing it a little bit.
Of course. We got it. We skip over so much stuff in these. It's
Right.
still always better to read the comic, but this is fun for just insight and jokes, you know?
Yes. Volstagg tries to run away because that's the joke.
Ugh, stop it.
I know what Stan is trying to do is say that he's a coward, but the man has a wife and a ton of kids to think about, so I can't really blame him for not being all gung-ho about riding out to certain doom.
The coward thing is still bad, but I do see sparks of that thing I love where Volstagg just loves his fucking wife.
Yeah. He's...
So I gotta go. I must bid farewell to my devoted wife.
yeah.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
Keep that energy.
Okay, bet. Loki watches them leave with a sense of satisfaction. At last, all of Thor's friends are gone, and with them, all of their opposition. The advisor from last issue, Togue, reminds them that this isn't the most important thing right now because the Mangog is coming, and
the Mangog really is coming.
we do need to do something about that. Loki snaps back that he is the rightful king, before a voice behind him bellows a refusal.
Who could it be?
Thor is finally here, with Sif in tow, and he's wondering what the fuck is going on. Loki helpfully explains that Odin is asleep, and since Thor wasn't here, it was Loki's job to take the throne in the interim, and Thor can't do anything about it. Nanny nanny boo boo. Thor stalks up to them in that way older siblings do when they're sick of your shit.
Uh-huh.
And Loki shrinks back because that's the reasonable thing to do. Thor tries to reason with Loki. The Mangog is coming, and now is not the time for petty squabbles. Now we need to work together to not fucking die.
That's just what you were saying a minute ago when you sent the Warriors 3 off to their fucking death.
Exactly. Loki says, nah, you go fight the Mangog, I'll stay here. Thor's like, fine, but just so you know, when, not if, but when I die fighting the Mangog, you'll follow me soon after.
Oh, see, where I thought that was gonna go was, when I beat the Mangog, I'm gonna come back and kick your ass and give you the fucking atomic wedgie you deserve, little bro.
I mean, either one is good, honestly. On the outskirts of Asgard, the slowly approaching Mangog encounters a band of storm giants. He commands them to move aside, stating that he has no issue with them. The giants have issue with him, though, because he's on their turf and they don't recognize him.
Why? I thought Mangog was enemy of all who lives. Why is he sparing the storm giants?
Why did he spare Ulik?
Oh, because Ulik was a lackey.
True, except he ran away immediately.
Yeah, pussy.
Mangog makes quick work of them and continues strolling on through until he encounters an outpost. He approaches the walls and starts tearing them apart with his bare hands while helpfully giving his motivations for us.
Oh, this is the, God, I'm all fucked up, I can't remember. Lord of the Rings, so there's Gondor and then there's the other city that fell.
Right.
The fuck was... No, it wasn't Minas Tirith.
The
fuck was it?
I don't remember, it's been so long.
Okay, so this is the... No, I'm still not confident
I'm
in
not
that.
confident at all.
No, it's the other city the fucking Faramir was at and got hit and everybody died or something like that. God, I want to die right now.
Okay, calm down.
Yep.
Mangog is an alien from a race that was once very powerful and warlike. However, they tried to invade Asgard and failed, and as punishment, Odin killed all of them.
Except for Mangog, who took a nap under some stones.
Actually, before those people all died, they, quote-unquote, created Mangog. Not sure what that means, and we never really get clarification on it.
So he's not the last member of an alien race, he's something they made.
Yeah, basically. Anyway, now he wants vengeance, etc. Our boy, Goggy, tears apart this outpost, both the building and the occupants, in a way that's almost casual.
Guess we gotta set Faramir on fire now, it's the only option.
It's the only option. With their back to the wall, the warriors call for the deployment of the Odinian Force Arrow.
What?
So
that's a fucking rocket. Fuck you.
This is basically a missile, which they shoot into the mountain above Mangog, creating a huge explosion and rock shower. I don't know why they didn't just shoot it at Mangog. It seems like that would have been a better idea.
Yeah.
The rock slide buries Mangog under several tons of earth, and the warriors rejoice.
Asgard is saved.
They did it! They saved everyone!
Ooh.
Now-
Who's this guy with the little look here?
Skies out, thighs out.
Skies out, thighs out. Having like shown a little leg in the battle.
Not so much luck, unfortunately. The pile of rock shifts, then suddenly explodes outward all at once, revealing the Mangog completely unscathed.
Vincent, please.
He's not good. He declares his intent to push on to the heart of Asgard and unsheath the Odin sword, bringing Ragnarok and death to all its inhabitants.
So that's cool.
Mangog explains a little more about himself. When my race was dying, they took the limitless strength of all the billions whom Odin had doomed, and they found a way to store that matchless power within one living being. Thus, in all the universe, there is but one who possesses the unimaginable might of a billion beings. One whom they named Mangog.
A billion beings is so many dead people.
So many dead people.
What the fuck, Odin? I can't blame the Mangog right now.
He's just doing what he was made to do. So
Odin's gotta answer for a billion beings. I think it's fair to call the bitch out.
Yeah, so that does explain a little bit more about why he's such a big deal. I guess from this and from the fact that they call him the last surviving member of his race is like, maybe he was the last one and they like made him the designated survivor and kind of imbued him with this stuff.
Yeah.
They still don't really explain how this happened.
Alien technology, it's fun.
Yeah, I guess. In the palace, at this very moment, Thor, Loki, Sif, and Tog are watching this happen on a big crystal. They're pretty disturbed by this, understandably, and stand for a moment wondering what they could possibly even begin to do in this situation. Even Loki has now devoted their full attention to this problem. Thor, on the other hand, still has it in him to be mad. Only when it's absolutely clear that Loki himself is in danger will they stop their campaign against him and consider working together. Their priorities are pretty transparent, but I also think that Thor needs to take his own advice and put his beef on hold for now.
Right, absolutely. I like this drawing. I know we're mentioning that he's getting here, but I really like this drawing of Odin. It's very delicate.
Yeah, he's sleep.
The lines are nice and thin and just looks very delicate.
But Thor does not do that. Instead of working together to establish some kind of plan, Thor gives Loki an earful before heading down to Odin's chamber to check on him. Odin is still fast asleep, completely heedless to everything happening around him.
I'm gonna go tell Dad.
Thor vows to his slumbering father that he will vanquish the Mangog, or die trying. Sif adds that she will stay by his side until the end, to which Thor says no, but not because of sexism this time.
Oh, nice.
Thor asks with a heavy heart that Sif stay here to watch over and protect Odin, because if he fails, she will be the last line of defense.
Okay, except I thought that he wasn't going for Odin, he was going for the Odin sword. But still, good thought.
Well, he wants to destroy Odin too.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, why though? Because if you just pull out the Odin sword, Odin is destroyed along with everyone else.
I don't know.
I never accused Mangog of being smart, I'm just saying.
She doesn't much care for this idea, preferring to be with him until the end, but accepts her duty nonetheless. Thor rides out to meet the Mangog as Sif watches, knowing that he rides to certain doom. Loki takes a second to rub it in, because that's really helpful.
Dickhead. When did Loki get down here? I thought they walked away from Loki. Loki just caught up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Loki.
Wait, guys!
Thor rides through a wasted land, searching for the Mangog, but stops when he comes upon a survivor. A single Asgardian, injured and unhorsed, crawling his broken body across the ground. He calls out to Thor, telling him to turn back and run as far as he can. Even the fabled strength of the Thunder God, not even 1,000 times his strength, could possibly be enough. Thor helps the old warrior lean against a rock, where he slips into his final rest. He mounts his horse and rides on with renewed vigor, shortly coming upon a line of broken and battered warriors making their way back to the city. All survivors of the Mangog's attack. They also urge Thor to turn back. It seems that facing Mangog broke not only their bodies but their spirits as well. Thor can't believe what he's hearing, and speeds off once more, declaring that it lives and he must not fear it. Finally, Thor comes upon the flaming wreckage that the survivors left behind. The destruction here is but a small taste of Mangog's power. Nearby, he finds a group of rocks pushed together, with voices coming from within. He dismounts and moves to inspect it, finding a familiar sword arm poking out of a small crack. The warriors three still live, here in this pile of rocks where the Mangog trapped them, with a single gesture. Before Thor can free them, though, a shadow falls across his back. He turns to find his foe at last, the one and only Mangog. Mangog grabs him with one crushing hand, declaring that now he shall perish, even as his people perished at Odin's command.
It's a trap!
And that's all we have for today. Cliffhanger.
Currently we say, continue death.
Continue death.
My favorite 80s metal band.
What did you think of the beginning of the Mangog story?
It had its moments, but I don't think it was very good. Vince's inking is more distracting than ever.
I personally think that the second issue is stronger than the first one, because the
Yeah.
first one was mostly just Thor wandering around waiting for something to happen.
Yeah, agreed. The second issue was stronger. I think I'm going to put them both at a 3. One's a high 3, but not a 3.5. One's a 3 solid and really pushing it.
Okay. I think I would give the first one a 3 and the second one a 4. I really like a lot of the more dramatic components.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, you're making me think of that. Loki actually being serious was nice. That nice touch at the end is that nice panel of Thor riding through the flaming wasteland.
Mm-hmm. This just feels... It feels very serious and dramatic in a way that a lot of Thor stories haven't really up to this point.
And I did like the palace intrigue.
Yes.
I'm a sucker for that.
Yeah, so... I don't know. I enjoy it.
It wasn't... There was a lot that was dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the number of questions
obviously.
I had of just, why would you do this? Why would you do this? Why would you do this? Would seem to make it clear that there are some holes going on here.
Yeah, absolutely. Epic fantasy, it is not, but, you know, it's like, at least kind of got the flavor.
Yeah. It's getting to something, it's just not quite there.
Right.
But, okay. I'm intrigued to see what happens next.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure it's Thor saves the day, but how is the question? And that's the thing about comics.
Yes.
Because you know at the end of the day, they're gonna win, but at what cost and by what means? And what are the consequences? Well, I guess that's the same as at what cost.
Right.
Whatever. Yeah, that's how I feel about it.
So that's it until next Thor episode.
Yep. It's gonna be a little bit of a short one this week, but every once in a while we do that. Sometimes we go short, sometimes we go long. We do the best we can. So let's wrap things on up.
We could talk about Obi-Wan if you want.
Oh, we could talk about Obi-Wan. Does anybody want to hear about Obi-Wan? You don't have a choice. Turn off the podcast if you don't want to hear it. Right. I did want to say about, so I did get around to watching Obi-Wan after that episode that was just a string of Star Wars references, where I sometimes talked about the Beast. Obi-Wan is really good. It's, well, for one, it scratches an itch for me, so I may be biased to an extent. I've always been fascinated with, and I'm not too, necessarily complete on what the current Star Wars canon is. I used to know a whole lot about the Legends canon, and so I never feel confident anymore really talking about Star Wars, and it's made it really hard for me to get super engaged for quite a while, but Obi-Wan came out, and I'm so excited, and every time I watch Obi-Wan, I'm like, I want more Obi-Wan, but I have a week to wait.
Yeah.
I never even explained what I was getting to with the Legends canon thing. One of the things I always loved were the different pieces of media that were from the Jedi Purge and the Rise of the Empire. I always love reading about that, and not every instance of trying to do that was done well. The Coruscant Night books had an interesting concept in which a Jedi that survived the Purge becomes a private investigator, also trying to stay away from being discovered, which I thought was actually a fun idea, but in execution, not as fun. There was a really good comic, I think it might have been called Purge, actually, where a bunch of Jedi gang up on Darth Vader.
Wow.
But pieces of media like that I've always liked, because you don't just go from being the Jedi at the top of the heap, effectively sitting on top of the world, spires of your temple peeking out above all of Coruscant. You don't get there and then just all of a sudden, bang. Oh, the clone troopers just killed them all. Nah, they didn't. It took some work to get rid of all those Jedi. And I'm sure that this is probably shit that's been covered in, like, the Clone Wars, but I only watched 2 seasons of it. I'm gonna watch more. God, nobody is here to hear this, and yet here I am babbling about all the shit I know. But it really scratches an itch for me in hitting that topic I'm so interested in. And, okay, spoilers. I didn't spoil anything before this, so it's fine.
It's fine.
I get to see Baby Luke and Baby Leia, which is something I've always wanted. I want to see more of Baby Luke, because all I've gotten to see was him being cute, pretending he was flying a starfighter on top of
Spoilers,
his house.
Obi-Wan is in it.
Spoilers! But Baby Leia is a fucking delight. She's a fucking savage.
She is.
Sitting here reading out people's whole lives and all of their flaws to them. Excellent.
I mean, that kid was asking for it, let's be real.
Oh, definitely. Oh, God. I can't remember her name. Reva?
Yeah.
Yeah. Reva
Is hot.
Yeah, and they always shoot her upwards in, like, power shots, which you don't get to see with women characters a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they're the badass, you don't get the upwards power shot to point out how intimidating and badass they are.
Right.
And that, I really loved that. And the fucking Grand Inquisitor had it coming.
He did.
So, I enjoy Obi-Wan, I guess, is the moral of the story. No, I didn't even get to the... So, I've been really excited hearing about how Hayden Christensen... God, this has just let me talk about Star Wars time.
Good.
I've been really excited about Hayden Christensen's... Sometimes his acting can be wooden, but his physical performances are really good. I love how throughout the entire prequel trilogy, he picked up and ran with David Prowse's body language and how Darth Vader wields his sword like it's just a fucking baseball bat. Like you're trying to sword fight a motherfucker who's trying to hit you with a baseball bat. And you're just getting fucking beaten down. And I love that they carry that on, and it feels Obi-Wan's distance from his past and his abilities taking a step away. The absence of practice is very clearly shown. And so I was also saying, like, I don't think Darth Vader would be nearly as mad if you hadn't set him on fire. Yeah, it turns out he's still holding a grudge.
Yeah, a little bit. He's still thinking about that a little bit.
Yeah, he's still a little pissy about that one. Give it a couple years. Anyway, yeah, moral of the story. Obi-Wan good. I want more Obi-Wan. I'm so glad Ewan McGregor's back. I love everything.
He's a good boy.
Anyway, yeah. Did you have anything you wanted to geek out about?
I'm also enjoying Obi-Wan. There's nothing really happening right now that I'm super geeked about. I mean, Thor 4 is coming out next month, so...
Thor 4.
There's gonna be that, for sure.
That's soon. Wow, that crept up on me.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, it's not soon enough as far as I'm concerned.
Well, they gotta have time to make the movie.
I know. You haven't even watched the trailer yet.
No, I did watch the one trailer.
Did you?
It was at the movies.
Okay.
We went to the movies?
Oh, yes. Yes, I remember now. Sorry.
Alright. Well, that said then, I think we should move on to our normal housekeeping. If you have any emails to shoot us, tell me how you feel about Obi-Wan, all the people that are not here for a Star Wars podcast, but have watched Obi-Wan and want to tell me about it. How did you feel about Obi-Wan? You can shoot us an email over at comicsplaining@gmail.com. We'll answer that on the podcast. You could also talk to us on Twitter, Tumblr, or Facebook. We are Comicsplaining in all of those locations. If you'd like to watch a video version of the show and see Vince's legendary inking, you can hit us up. We have a video version with different clips of what we're talking about as we're going over on YouTube. So like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.
If you don't know what the Mangog looks like, I promise whatever you're imagining is not even close.
Even if you've seen the Mangog in later appearances, yeah, the Mangog does not look how I remember.
No. He gets a little bit of a glow up later.
Yeah. If you'd like to support the show, we have a Patreon. Patrons get early access to the show, higher rewards, higher tiers. We also have a coffee. If you want to just shoot us a couple bucks, that would be much appreciated. Recommend us to your friends if you know anybody who's into Marvel or comics or wants to be.
Please.
Rate and review us on your Podchaser of choice. Reminder that Spotify now has ratings. Though you cannot review us there, we would still appreciate it. And whatever you say, again, we will probably read on air. We are desperate for interaction.
We are.
You heard us talking about our Discord earlier. If you want to see some of what goes on there, we put a link to our Discord in every show. And other than that, we're going to be back to give what's going to be our wrap-up of what's going on over with Hank McCoy next week over with the X-Men. So we look forward to talking to you then. Bye!
Bye!